Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back for another Total War video with the Terminator. Today, I'm going to be playing as Massalia in Divide Et Impera in the first 10 turns of the campaign to show you how I would go about with this wonderful faction. I really enjoy Massalia. I think it's one of the more popular factions in Divide Et Impera because it's got a really interesting roster of units, a really interesting starting position as well, surrounded by Celtic tribes. And especially since 1.2.8, some really interesting buildings and different cultural routes that you can take with the faction. So that's what we're going to do today. I hope you enjoy this video, guys. If you do, give it a like, drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to see more videos like this and other Total War videos. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so this is turn 1 with Massalia, and we actually have a lot to do. So the first thing obviously that I always get up to with any campaign is to look at the diplomacy and see what is going around my faction. So as Massalia, obviously we're surrounded by a lot of Celtic tribes, some Iberian tribes down here, mostly Celtic though, and obviously we've got the Etrurians, Ligurians, and Suburbs, and Rome to our east. So lots to do here, lots to get up to. Let's first try and get as many trade agreements as we can. So they're not going to go for it. I think the Arverni will. They will. Very good. The Sessitani, I'm not sure they will. Nope, they won't. The Insubres might go for it. Yep, they do. We just need to get as many of these trade agreements as possible because in the long term, we're going to try and keep our tax rate low to help keep our public order as high as possible. Rome will obviously give us loads of money for our... Oh, okay, maybe not that much money. For our goods and services. There we go. That's good enough. Carthage has been unlocked now. Let's get a trade agreement with them. Oh, maybe they don't want it. That's fine. Rome, Syracuse, I think we'll go for a trade agreement. Yep, they will. And the Volcae, but we won't go for them because that is where we're going to be expanding into first. So that's diplomacy, guys. In terms of technology, I'm going to go for the civic route as always. I always go for the philosophy route here to get some dignitaries, get more influence, tax rate, public order, empire maintenance. This little chain here is insanely OP to set yourself up for success in your campaign as a faction in Divide Et Impera. So that's what we're going to do there. We have a large coffer now with all our trade agreements, so we're going to be using that to recruit more units, build some buildings. So let's get up to that first. As Massalia, I'm going to build up the main settlement building. That's going to be basically to set Massalia up as a defensive city here. And then we have our alternate buildings here. Now, we have a Hellenic outpost and a Gallic outpost. These are new additions from version 1.2.8 of DEI. It basically gives you the option of, historically, Massalia was kind of dipping its toes in both both cultures, Gallic and Hellenic faction cultures, which means you basically have the option here to choose which culture you'd rather side with. And it depends. I mean, this is the kind of building options that you get with Massalia and Scythia as well, and a couple others. And it gives you, so it gives you that option, and you can choose which one to go for depending on how you're going to be expanding. Now, as Massalia, you're obviously going to be going against the Gallic tribes pretty quickly. So in my opinion, anyway, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't make that much of a difference if you get the Hellenic outpost and suffer that -5 diplomatic bonus with the Celtic factions that you see on the left there in that panel. So I'm going to go for the Hellenic outpost there. Obviously, you know, if you get a city and you build a Gallic outpost, then you reduce the negative effect of your kind of diplomatic penalties with those factions. So just, you know, keep in mind you have options. You know, you can build both buildings and have a bit more of a balanced approach to how you want to recruit units. Obviously, both buildings come with different types of units, Gallic and Hellenic. They do have some cultural influence effects, wealth effects from commerce, things like that. So just keep that in mind as well. It does have other effects aside from just cultural consequences. Now, we're going to move the spy, Astioch, down towards the Volcae here as well, Narbo. So she's going to be stationed there to start stealing some food. And, of course, we're going to start recruiting. So as Massalia, we have access to some nice, decent units here. Again, I'm not sure that the Massalia hoplite should be here. We shouldn't have access to these hoplites just yet. I'm not sure what this is all about. I think it must be a bug with my version of DEI at the moment. But yeah, so really, at least I think so. Let me just double check this. I mean, maybe the city of Massalia starts with a generic barracks that comes with this unit. I'm not like entirely sure, to be honest. You know what? We're just going to go for it anyway. I'm going to get a few of these units in this turn. And in the next turn, we're going to move our army towards the Volcae here on the border. And I'm going to recruit some of these guys, the haploi levies, that are going to be really good to just flank around and or secure our flanks, at least for our main hoplites here. So that's what we're going to do with that army. And then finally, you see that public order is in the negative. So we're going to just reduce our tax level slightly to keep it in the positive. And not only that, we're going to go into the politics tab, the characters tab here, and send one of these guys on an organized games mission. That's going to help secure the province firmly in the positive. That's what we want. That's going to actually help us maybe even get our tax rate up as well. And then I think the last thing I'm going to be doing in this turn is recruiting a fleet. Now, if you haven't done this before, the reason why I do this is to send this fleet out into the world to discover new factions. So I'm going to send this fleet over here to meet Sparta, Athens, the Aetolian, Boeotians, I guess, down here to Knossos or Crete, Pergamum, Lydia, Rhodes, and then up here towards Macedon on the other, Bithynians, the other kind of factions up here, northern Anatolia, the Balkans. They're going to all be happy to give us trade agreements, which again is going to help us bolster our coffers and our income. So yeah, the plan with this campaign essentially is I'm going to be moving west, securing our mother province here, Narbo and Tolosa. These guys are likely, very likely to declare war against you anyway. And it's very likely that some of these guys will declare war on you as well. I don't think the Arverni will, so don't worry about that. I'm not sure that the Sessitani down south will either. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our home province, and then very likely I'm going to shift east and start going into Genua, Medlan, and Octuteron. So we're going to try and in 10 turns do as much as we can. But that is what I'd recommend doing. Rome will always be a decent ally to you, so I wouldn't worry about them. Or Carthage, to be honest. Carthage might go to war with you if that Punic War starts. But until then, you should be in a pretty relaxed, high-income state. So that's what we're going to be doing in this campaign. All right, that's going to be the end of turn 1. Let's move on. All right, guys, so this is turn 2, and what essentially happened mid-turn is the Arverni offered us a non-aggression pact, which I took in exchange for some money. So I gave them about 1,000 gold, and the Insubres over here declared war on us outright. So we can expect an army possibly to come down here towards Massalia, which is why we're setting Massalia up to be a defensive city. In the meantime, we're going to move this army towards Volcae. And actually, I'm going to recruit a couple of cav units and some more hoplites. Yeah, levy hoplites. So we're going to do another turn of recruitment here. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to start attacking. That's the plan there. In the meantime, let's get our navy moving. So we're going to move them down there. And I think diplomatically, there's not much else we can do, really. Maybe the Diorsi want a trade agreement? No. Epirus could want a trade agreement? No. Sessitani, I don't know why. They've never accepted a trade agreement from me, even though eventually we're going to go quite positive with them. All right, here we go. Carthage want a trade agreement. Let's get that. Excellent. And I think that's pretty much turn 2, guys. Let's move on to turn 3. All right, guys, so this is turn 4. I've skipped over turn 3 because not a lot happened. We just moved our navy about and we did some recruitment. Now the Defenders of Olympus has a nice contingent of hoplites, both like decent Massalian hoplites as well as levies. And we've got some nice cav as well, 4 cavalry units. So this army is now going to go against Narbo. So that's going to happen there. Octuteron here, the Helvetii, actually offered to declare war against the Insubres for us as well for a little sum of money. So I've given them that money so they can do that, keep them busy in the meantime, which is something always a good thing. I mean, there's no reason why you can't wrangle someone else into a war to keep them distracted. In the meantime, we're going to move our navy, continue to move them towards Greece, meet some new factions, and we're going to initiate our first battle of the video here. Let's move this army over to Narbo. The Volcae actually declared war against us as well, which is all fine and dandy. And we're going to fight this battle on the ground, guys. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, the Battle of Narbo has begun, and I'm moving my troops forward, as you can see here, to the main gate of the town that's kind of wide open, but it's got the bulk of their troops are basically waiting for us here. So I'm setting up my troops into a position to basically lock this gate in. They've also landed some troops on this side with the ships. So I'm moving some of my guys over here, some light hoplites to pin them down. And I've got the rest of my infantry moving up their back lines into this little gap here. So that's what's happening there. I'm moving these guys over here just in case. And I've got my cavalry hidden over here, but they're going to be moving out now on both sides of the little village on the hill here to start flanking around the enemy army. I don't know why, but I'm getting a lot of lagging at the moment, so forgive me. But that's essentially what we're going to be doing this battle. So I'm trying to pin them down with some nice hoplite units in the front. While my cav and the rest of the infantry units come round here to attack them from the rear. What is that lag? I wonder if it's the water. No, I think it's just the number of troops, unfortunately. My little potato computer can't handle it. All right, so that's essentially what we're... Okay, there we go. That's what we're trying to do. So cavalry is starting to flank around here. Let's get a look at the tactical map, actually. Cavalry is flanking around, as you can see. They're pushing up from the rear. General is over here as well, starting to kind of hover around the rear of the enemy. And we're using this infantry unit, the light phalanx infantry, to try and pin these guys down, prevent them from flanking around my medium phalanx infantry. Definitely don't want that. In the meantime, as you can see over here, we've got some nice slingers attacking from the slightly elevated position in the town on this side onto the main kind of area of attack. So that's what's happening there. The rear infantry are doing some... God, the lagging is terrible. Some decent work on the rear over here. And the cav is now starting to make work on the enemy in the back line. We've caught some light missile infantry off guard. We're going to use this light shock cavalry to start shocking the enemy from the rear as well. This is going to be essentially a bit of a hammer and anvil. Anvil being the medium phalanx up front there. And the rest of my troops, the cav, the infantry, coming up from the rear for the hammer. So that's what's happening there. I have noticed that these guys are still kind of waiting to be given orders. So they're going to start moving back eventually. No worries there. Let's see again in the tactical map how things are going. Lots of enemy troops are being engaged on the front there. Some of them have already retreated. I'm not sure if you saw out this way. I'm having a bit of a hard time with these guys that have come ashore as well. Let's get a bit of a close look if we can. So I'm engaging one of them from behind here, as you can see, but the other one is trying to attack me from behind over here. So I'm getting a bit flanked, unfortunately, but that's okay. No worries. We're making some good gains in the rear as my cavalry is taking out lots of units, lots of missile units mainly, which is good. A lot of negative morale happening up front as well. As you can see, lots of their units have already retreated, which does incur a negative morale penalty, seeing their friends and allies retreat on the battlefield. So that's what's happening there. Let's get a closer look as well into what's happening. So that rear action, engaging some light garrison units, I think. They're starting to pull some of their units back. Oh, no, they're going back to the front line, which is fine. All good there. I think these guys are going to do some work to start clearing up these two units that are flanking them. So no worries there. Medium phalanx are holding the enemy, which is really good to see. One of them actually has moved forward a little too much, but that's okay. No worries. The general is up front and losing decisively which is excellent to see. So he's going to start retreating now as well, which is good. Good. We've got these guys all pinned down. Skirmisher Cav throwing their missiles at them as well. just enemy casualties all over the place. These guys have already lost the unit over here, which is good. General is now retreating as well. I've moved my general over here so we can start moving around and possibly even start ramming some of the infantry that's coming a little bit around in a flanking maneuver on this side. And I'm moving these spear units in support now as well. Trying to clear up this infantry unit once and for all. I think now that some units have retreated, the lagging has stopped, which is good stuff. So yeah, it's going really well so far. Basically, I'm splitting the enemy forces in two, using a bit of concentration of force on this side to destroy the enemy here. And then I'm gonna bring up the rest of the troops on this side to finish these guys once and for all on the front line as well. So all really good stuff so far. Heated action on the front line here. Retreating units on the side as well. But now we've got some reinforcements coming up with the general's unit. They're going to start charging in. Charging into the enemy units here. Yeah, victory. We've got some spearmen charging in now as well, which is good to see. The enemy naval unit here has been defeated. Yep, that's them running there. 2 more units are retreating. The rest of them are retreating now as well. Their general dead, heavy morale penalties, and that should be the end of the battle here. A heroic victory. Let's see how many people we lost. We only lost 270 men against the superior force, so very well done. Let's see what happens in the campaign map now. All right, guys, so with that, we have a heroic victory, and Narbo is ours. Now, I'm going to occupy the city. I don't want that heavy public order negative effects on my province here. And then we're going to just convert these buildings here really quickly. Get rid of that one for the olive building that we're going to be building in this area. There's a specific resource for that. That you can use. And then we're also going to get recruiting. So I'm going to get a couple more hoplites here. And then we're going to do one more recruitment turn for some of the more elite units that we're going to get through the Hellenic outpost. So yeah, that's what's going to happen there. Let's move our spy over to Tolosa, who's going to start stealing some food there as well. And have we moved our navy already? Yes, we have. Excellent. All right. So yes, that was our first heroic battle here. Very well won. We have Narbo now. We're going to move on to Tolosa very soon. And I think we need to just give our general some skills. Now, I would recommend going for this one and this one, because they give you some nice public order and tax rate bonuses. Always a nice thing. From a tax rate perspective, we're on high just because we had some really nice public order positives here before we took the city. And you know what? I might just move that slightly down, only a little bit, because a minus 17 is quite a bit. Minus 13 is a bit more manageable. And a lot of that should be going away after the next turn. So that's going to be the end of our turn here. The first battle has been won. Let's move on to take Tolosa. All right, guys, welcome back. This is turn 5, and we've got our army outside of Narbo now. I'm going to put them into a fortified position here and recruit some units. So we're going to get a couple of these guys, the Theropheroi, and we're going to get some ranged units. We get some Peltas because they're going to be nice against enemy cav at range. So that's what we're going to be getting. And then once this recruitment turn is done, we're going to move on to Tolosa and take that city there. Let's deploy the spy really quickly as well. Massalia has a couple buildings built as well. We've got this Hellenic outpost ready. Now it is up to you. The more you upgrade these buildings, the more diplomatic penalties you have with the kind of rival culture, I guess. In this case, that's the Celtic factions. So you can do that if you want. I'd probably recommend that you don't. You don't really need the Massalia hoplite right away. Yes, I was right. You do. That is a bug. Oh well. Well, no worries. Let's just upgrade that then, so you can get access to those hoplites right away. In the meantime, we're gonna get the olive oil press that I talked about as well in Narbo. That's gonna be super important. But yeah, early on, guys, if you don't have access to those Massalia hoplites, then just go for the levy units. They're gonna be okay to hold your front line as well. So let's move this navy over to Greece as well, and then move them down south towards this area here. Let's see if that's given us any new factions to say hello to as well. Be welcome. Syracuse. Nope. Okay. The Vivisci, they might go for it. No, they won't either. Interesting. What about... Oh, no, we're going to be going against these guys, so no worries there. All right, so nothing to do diplomatically either. And we're going to move on to the next turn swiftly. This should be turn 6, I believe. All right, guys, this is turn 6, and we're going to go up against Tolosa very soon, but I just want to move this navy first really quickly. Let's meet Knossos and then swing north and meet Athens. There we go. Let's get some trade agreements with these guys. Some lucrative trade agreements. Pretty good. And Knossos there. Excellent. They are on high, so wrangle some money from them probably. Maybe not as much as we like. Let's try 1,500. There we go. Excellent. The Ligurians just broke our trade agreement, interestingly, so we'll see what they get up to. And I think that's going to be it diplomatically. We're going to go up against the Volcae Textausages, I hope, with this army here, the Defenders of Olympus. So let's go ahead and declare war and besiege the city. And we're going to fight this one on the ground as well. So they have some decent units. They've prepared very well. Nice garrison army as well. They have roughly almost, I think, 6,000 units here. And no, 5,100. And we've got 4,000. So they have superiority. We've got a lot of hoplites here that we're going to be using as well, though. So we're going to fight this on the ground, guys. Let's go for it. All right, guys. So the Battle of Tolosa is upon us as our troops move forward to start challenging the next faction on our list to be destroyed. They've got some nice defensive positions lined up here against us, but I'm moving my cavalry around now to flank around the enemy force and start clearing up the back lines essentially, while the front holds them in position. So that's the plan here. Let's just fast forward a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't lag too much. It's lagging quite a bit, actually. Enemy is moving around a bit, seeing what they're up to. They've moved some missile infantry forward to start challenging the front line, which is fine. It's okay. They're going to get into phalanx position now and start pushing forward as well. And what I'm going to do now is what's happening with the camera there? I'm going to move the kind of flanking infantry round now here as well, and these guys over here, so I can build up the front line even further. I've got my nice shock infantry ready. I mean, they're light melee infantry, but I call them shock infantry anyway. They do a bit of shock and awe. I'm going to be moving them up here as well to start another kind of flanking front line here on these infantry on this side. Cavalry is going to start moving around here now as well. The enemy general is on this side of the battlefield, kind of walking around here, not doing too much. So this cavalry, hopefully, these two units are going to help destroy him pretty quickly. Meantime, though, my infantry is moving forward further and further. Nice front line going on here of hoplites. Going to be moving forward quite a bit here. Going to be a nice heated battle for us Because they have a far superior force in this battle. I think they're about 7.5-ish thousand men versus my 4,000. So going to be a tough battle. Basically have to have a front line, pretty decent front line, pinning them all down here while I get my my cav to swing around and start challenging the enemy. All right, let's fast forward slightly here again. There goes the cavalry starting to come around now. All right, here we go. They're opening fire with missile units as well. I've got this infantry unit doing a nice flank around them. More and more of the front line is moving forward. Got some nice engagements on this side, hopefully. I'm going to start breaking very soon as well. Light spear versus light melee. Very light melee, and they're losing, which is just baffling. This side is the side that's going to be the most worrying. Obviously, they have a massive infantry investment here. I need to make some gains with my cav and obviously my shock infantry here to start causing some trouble. Meantime, though, my cav is going in for a nice charge on this side. Take out this medium spear infantry, a very nice unit to take out early on in the match. In the battle. Got my missile cavalry as well, causing some trouble in the back line. And here we go. We've got a nice enemy charge into my general as well. But that's fine because I've got this unit now. Who's going to charge in their backside as well. Which will be very good. Lots of enemy units retreating here on the front line. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 units retreating. Oh, one of them is mine actually. 3. But we're doing a good job. We're doing a good job of just pinning them down in place. The bulk of their forces. I'm going to use the rest of our flanking force to come around here. Let's take a look at the tactical map for a second, see what's going on exactly from a tactical perspective. So, yeah, you can see the bulk of the enemy army is in this front line here. Their missile units are starting to retreat back a bit. I'm going to use this cav unit to hammer into this medium spear once and for all to end him. We just need to make some gains here. Take out some enemy units, whittle them down bit by bit, and then use the cav to clear up the rest of them. So let's fast forward slightly here, see what's happening. We've got 2 units retreating on this side. The cav unit here retreating as well. Very good to see. Enemy general is coming around to attack our cavalry here, which is fine. I'm going to move them back now slightly. I'm going to charge in a bit. I'm going to move them to charge around the general, essentially. That's the enemy cav unit destroyed over here. These guys are going to start coming around. It's good to see. Very good to see. There goes the general now, which works for me. Here comes the cav charge into the general here. 2 charges to do a bit of damage. I'm losing that spear infantry up front, but that's okay. The main focus needs to be the general now, so I'm basically moving up my missile units here to attack the general from behind, which is a very, very good move. He's going to start getting whittled down in numbers quite quickly here. Meantime, the other cav units are doing work in the back line, clearing up the enemy missile units over here. Hopefully clearing up these 2 units here as well very soon. Enemy general unit is now... They've just lost 20 units in like 3 minutes here. Very, very cool. Not even 3 minutes, like 30 seconds. The good stuff there. Let's just fast forward again slightly. See what's happening next. The cav is hunting down missile units. Got some good progress on this side as well. Front line is moving up slightly. Continue to box them in. The bulk of their infantry on this side. General unit is now going up against spear units from behind as well. Trying to cause some havoc. Some morale penalties. Cav units, man. Cav units are so strong when used in this way. Just clearing up the back line as you do. General unit is now retreating as well, which is excellent to see. You're going to use these cav units to clear up the rest of these spearmen. This unit has now retreated as well, so we can move these 2 spear units up into the fray. Get some more infantry action here. Kill, kill, kill. These guys are coming around for another flanking charge. Get a closer look. Very nice. Close-up view. They're going to be retreating now as well. This spear unit retreated. This one's going round. Nice round flank against these guys to try and take them out. More and more of their units are retreating now. Their general dead. Again, a very decisive battle here. Just boxing them in very quickly. And then moving units around to flank around and attack them from behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all just starting to retreat. Morale's low. And there you have it, guys. A nice, decisive battle here. Won again. A heroic victory, in fact. Glorious. Magnificent victory. We only lost 1,000 men. Oh, actually, they didn't have that many men. That's fine. But a very, very good victory nonetheless. Those nice... the charging unit here. Very, very good infantry unit, again, as I said. So let's move on to what's happening on the campaign map. All right, guys, so with that, again, heroic victory, we will take Tolosa. And again, I'm going to occupy it here because we don't want that negative public order. But with that, we've actually unified our home province here, which is really, really good. An excellent start to the campaign. So let's see here. We're going to recruit, not recruit, we're going to convert these buildings here. Definitely want this farming building here since we're a little lower in our food supply at the moment than I would like. And then, I mean, you can do what you want here, to be honest. But I would probably go for the consecrated ground, only because Massalia actually is a Hellenic faction. If you go into the summary tab here, you'll see the culture of Massalia is still Hellenic. So, you know, I'm going to, the province at the moment is positive in the Hellenic, which is good, but I don't want that to go any kind of further negative than it should be. So that's what that building is for, essentially. So now that we've secured the province here, we're going to get this tax harvesting here because the tax rate in Massalia is quite high. Now that we've secured this province, it's kind of up to you where you want to go. This is what I would normally do with every campaign. I'd secure the province here, and then, you know, you've opened up a lot of options in terms of expansion. If you go into the map here, the strategic view, you have the northern tribes here, which, I mean, some of them you have trade agreements with. Some of them are quite negative in terms of their relations to you as well. Same with the east. The east are quite explosive in terms of how they view you. And then obviously you have the southwest with the more Iberian Celtic tribes here, which you can expand to. Lots of different options with Massalia, which is why it's such an interesting faction to start with. If you go into the diplomacy tab here, you can see I've kind of made sure the northern side here is secure in terms of our borders. The Helvetii here are at war with the Insubres. So in my opinion anyway, a good next step is east. So we're going to try and move our army down to Liguria and then take Genua here and then move on to Insubres. But to be honest, the southwest is just as good an option because the Sessatani are a little bit angry with us. They might actually go to war with you right away. That could absolutely happen. Let's see diplomatically if we can get any more trade agreements before moving on. Always good to check your trade agreement situation here. Nope, Syracuse is back in the positive from a trade agreement point of view. Let's wrangle some money out of them as well. Oh, they're going to go right for it. That's great. The Vivisci should give us a trade agreement as well. And look at that. Just by having them accept a trade agreement, we've unlocked the Lusitani, the Galaici here, and the Pictone. So let's see if they want to go for trade agreements as well. Lusitanen, they'll go for it. Very good. Galiki are a bit in the negative, so probably not. And the Pictones, no, they don't have access to sea trade, so we won't go for them either. Got a nice little income here now. Public order is in the negative though, so what I'm going to do from a character perspective is marry off Urianex and get the wife to start holding some games. That would be really good. And in the meantime, you know, you can play around with the different intrigue options here. I'm going to send this guy, Koronos, since he has the lowest loyalty to our faction. So I'm going to send him over on a diplomatic mission. Maybe I'll send him to the Arverni, see what they get up to. If he dies, he dies, basically. And then let's have a look at what our navy is up to. We've just met the Athenians, Knossos. Oh, actually, we actually did that already, so no worries there. Excellent. So that was turn 6, I think. Let's just double check that. Yeah. Turn 6 complete. We're going to start moving our army here over to Genua. And actually, I'm also going to merge some units as well. Get rid of units that are quite low in number because we don't really need them. These guys I'm going to keep because, you know, they're cav. We don't really need to recruit. By the time we get over there, they'll be replenished. So all good there. Let's give our general a couple of traditions as well. The army, rather. I'm going to give him this one as well, the Polis Defenders, because it is very, very nice to have a plus 5% melee defense for hoplite units, especially. That's what I'm going to go for there. I'm going to give him the additional increased city governor skill here. And I'm also going to give him the ferocious warrior. That's going to be really nice as well. In the meantime, let's move our spy actually down towards the Sassatani. I'm curious to see what they're going to get up to. If they're going to start moving an army up here, then I know they're going to go to war, in which case I can prepare a new army to defend our province. You know what? In fact, it might be a good idea to start that right away, guys. So get recruiting in Narbo here. Let's get a couple of these guys. Let's get all of these guys. They're very, very good units to defend Narbo. This obviously army can shift around depending on how these factions respond as well. But that is going to be the end of the turn here, guys, I think. So let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, this is turn 7. And as you can see from the map here, we've discovered a lot of factions in our efforts to get more trade agreements. That's kind of where you want to be in terms of how the map looks so far. We've also taken our home province, which is really good. We've done some good research to get some dignitaries, etc. Actually, have we even recruited a dignitary? No, we haven't. So let's get that done as well. And we're going to deploy this noblewoman right away. And in the meantime, we're going to move this army over towards Genua so we can start attacking the Ligurians, those Celtic tribes of northern Italy. In the meantime, we've got a nice little army here that's still recruiting. Let's get a couple cav units there and some more levy hoplites. They're going to be very, very good to defend our province. I mean, if you're ambitious enough, if you like, you can even start using this army to go into Iberia. Take Tarraco, for example, an excellent defensible city in Iberia that once you take, yeah, absolutely can hold out on its own without an army, just like Massalia. So you could actually do that as well. We could try that right now. But let's see what happens. So we're out of money as well. And while that's not a terrible thing, we want to use this navy to start discovering more and more factions here. So let's try and get Rhodes, Lydia, and Pergamum right away. Let's see if we've discovered Rhodes. Oh, damn, we didn't. Oh, well, no worries. We did discover Pergamum, though. Actually, we've got Epirus here. Nope. Daorsi, what about you? Are you happy to trade some goods? Nope, nope, nope. Liguria, we're about to attack. The Lydians, obviously, they're a satrapy of the Seleucids. They might not go for it right away. But yeah, what I'm going to suggest, guys, is you just swing this navy down to meet Rhodes, maybe even Egypt over here as well. Get some trade agreements there. And then push this navy up north, Macedon, Bithynia, Tinny, all these other factions up here that are really good to have trade agreements with. They're also quite Hellenic in a way. So would be good to get those trade agreements right away. Let's see here. Public order is very much to the positive, which means we can probably move our tax level up a bit. Oh, maximum even. That's great. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll focus our attention on the Genuans here, the Ligurians. And I think that's going to be the end of the turn here. Maybe, where's our spy? Our spy. Oh yeah, the spy is down in Sessatani. Let's see what they're up to as well. All right, they're mustering some troops. Let's start stealing some food from them. That's the second army, actually. More likely than not, it's the second army. So we'll see if we can challenge them maybe in the next few turns. But we're going to be mainly focusing on this side of the things. So yeah, let's move on to the next turn and see what happens. All right, guys, so this is turn 8, and let's move our army closer and closer to the Ligurians over here. The spy has been deployed, and she's actually got a skill to spend, so let's get that done as well. I'd like to get these two right away. And then finally, we've got this army that's still doing a nice bit of recruitment, and to be honest, you might even want to... Where's the Sessatani border? Here it is. We already have a pretty negative relation with them, so you could even move them in and put them into a raiding stance. Put them in the raiding stance in the next turn, which is totally fine. In the meantime, let's develop the farmland here, get some more food, get the olive press here, the Hellenistic village upgraded as well. And then we're going to upgrade the this Narbo port here. God, I can't talk today. We're going to upgrade this Narbo port to the fishing port to get a bit more food. And then when ready, Massalia's port is going to be converted into a trade port. Oh, maybe not. The port of Massalia. Okay, no worries. So yeah, that's what we're going to do there. Excellent. All right, let's move on to the Navy over here and see where he's going. Let's try and meet Rhodes and Egypt. Actually, if we meet Rhodes and get a... There we go. Get a trade agreement, we might be able to get Egypt in our sphere of influence as well.
Greetings. We are civilized folk, so you may speak as you wish, and we will give you an honest answer. Your gold would be well spent
all right.
by my people.
Let's see, 18.
Remember where it came from and be ashamed.
Yeah, 18. All right, no, we didn't meet Egypt. So let's just move this navy a bit further. Oh, I think we just missed them. Well, maybe we didn't. Oh, we did meet him. Nice. All right. Here we go. Will they go for the trade agreements? They might need a little persuasion. They're being a little stubborn. All right, they accepted that, which is good. That's a nice little boost to our coffers as well. And then we'll move our navy north there. But that's going to be the end of turn 8, I think. And we're going to move on to turn 9, which will likely be the major battle against the Genuans. So let's get it going. All right, guys, this is turn 9, and unfortunately it's winter, so we're not going to be attacking this turn. I never recommend you go on an attack during winter. It's a very difficult time to keep up an offensive. I mean, Massalia, this province alone is in negative public order, so let's just keep the army in our province to make sure we can keep up the public order there. We're going to get this army into a raiding stance now as well against the Sessatani. Let's see what they get up to, whether they respond or not. And we're going to use a character to, again, increase our public order in this province. Money is starting to get a little low in our coffers, but that's okay. Let's move our navy north now. Get them up to meet Macedon and then the Bithynians. That would be really good. And that's essentially going to be turn 9 there. We're going to just take a little bit of a breather before going on the offensive against the Ligurians. And that offensive will be our final turn here in turn 10. Hopefully we can take Genua and end the video here. All right, let's move on. All right, guys, turn 10 and the final showdown has arrived. So before we get up to this, let's just see what else we need to do. Narbo, Massalia, some buildings that can be built. So let's get that done first. Let's get the fishing port. And you know what? This one is quite good. The Shrine of Athena from a research perspective. So I'm going to do that one there. And then the Navy. Let's move the Navy further north as well to meet some key factions in this area. Hopefully we get Macedon into the mix. And let's get up north here to try and meet Tini and Bithynia. Let's see if we got them. Yes, Antigonidai will go for some trade. Very good. Let's see, Darcy, Epirus, Liguria, Lusitanen. Let's see if Lydia will go for a trade. Nope, they will not. Okay. And Tini. We did meet Tini. That's good. Oh, they won't go for one either. All right, no worries. I mean, out of all the discoveries that we've done, other factions on the map, we've gotten some decent trade agreements. Knossos, Athenae, I think Rhodes as well, Antigonidai. Who do we have up here? Rome, of course, Syracuse, Carthage. Lots of good trade agreements there. That's giving us a lot of income. Let's see how much income. 679 and over on this one. 302. So almost 1,000 in income already. And you haven't even developed much resources in terms of, you know, luxury resources to trade here. That's going to be a really nice start to get things going, I think. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. And then finally, of course, the end of our video here with a major battle against the Ligurians. So let's declare war right away. And let's besiege the city. All right, so you can see the bug here is in effect as well. They've got some really good, decent medium infantry in the Tekastos. They've got an okay garrison, I guess. They've got a few ships to deal with as well. But we have a great roster of units here, assuming, of course, that you want to, if you have the bug as well, you take the Massalia hoplites. Even if you don't, I mean, you get access to these guys pretty quickly, which is not a problem. But we're going to fight this right in the ground here, guys, so you can see how I'm going to deal with this massive force. 7,300-ish men versus my force. So let's get into the battle and see what happens. All right, guys, this is the final battle of our video here. In the first 10 turns with Massalia, we are assaulting the town of Genua and trying to take it from the Ligurians. Now, what I'm trying to do here is essentially a three-pronged attack. Although I think I end up moving these units over here to support the main assault because they're just sallying forth out of the town as soon as they can, which I did not expect. So we're moving our main force up front here to the front line. Medium phalanx infantry moving forward here. Got the general ready to flank around on either side. I've got the other bulk cavalry behind a little hill here, ready to flank around as well. Basically trying to get my infantry forward as soon as possible. Box them into this this area that they're sallying forth from. And I'm going to use other infantry units to try and flank around here. That's what's going to happen in this battle. Let's try and fast forward, get into the action right away here. FPS dwindling slowly but surely. All right, let's pause it here and see what's happening. So yeah, as you can see, I'm moving my infantry forward, trying to box them in. So this is the front line that's set up here now. Got another line coming in from the side as well. I'm going to be moving these units into the town right away, essentially. I've got these units, these flanking units that are coming out of the forest, come into the town from this side as well. So just all about flanking. Flank, 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 flank. Front line is doing its work. We've got some townsfolk retreating already. They've got some flanking maneuvers here as well with the light spear infantry, the Arios. But the cavalry essentially is going to be clearing them up a little bit. Looks like they're doing some weird formation maneuvers there. All right, so yes, front line is all set up. We've got them boxed in. on 2 areas. There's a little gap here, but I'm not worried too much about that. Really, mainly I'm using my missile units here to attack these guys from the side and cause some damage. In the meantime, these guys are getting into town, getting into position to cause some trouble from behind. Basically distract the enemy on 2 sides here, which is good to see. Cavalry's moving on this side now. I've noticed that they're trying to come off their ships on this side of town. I don't want them to flank around at all. So these units, these cav units are going to just basically lock down this side of the map. Let's have a look at the tactical map here. Got infantry units inside the town causing trouble. More support coming in as well. This front line, nice. Almost a V-shaped front line, boxing them in the main gate here of the town. I've got an infantry unit also coming around to flank around this unit here. Going to be coming around in the phalanx position. Try and surprise them. All right, cavalry is moving up now to start causing some trouble in the back line. Take out these infantry units as well, these rogue units. In the meantime, my infantry is now engaging the back line here, which is good to see. That's what you want to be doing, distracting as many units as you can from the front line. Just causing trouble. That's what you want to be doing. Causing as much trouble as you can. All right, let's try and fast forward a little bit here. 16, 14, 13 FPS. It's dwindling. I'm not sure why it does that every time I try and unpause. All right, so I've committed some cavalry here. I think mistakenly, actually. I wanted to take some infantry units by surprise, but I didn't do it very effectively. So I'm going to move them out very soon. General's coming in as well to try and flank around these units from the side. In the meantime, this guy is trying to take out these units while this guy causes some trouble from this side as well. It's just, I've kind of split my cavalry apart a little too much, I think, at the beginning here, but that's fine. These guys all recoup and then start causing trouble in other ways, which is fine. We've continued to keep up the box here on the front line, which is really nice to see. It means that by kind of committing that cav early on, I'm drawing them out even more into the front line, which is fine. It's no worries. Using the cav here to do a bit of hammering on the enemy on the front line there. Infantry in the back is doing well as well to keep them pinned. So all good stuff on this side of the world so far. That cav unit just committed a little too much, unfortunately, but not the end of the world. All right, let's just do a bit more fast forwarding here. Maybe if I turn reshade off, it'll be a bit smoother. All right, so I've moved my general up to help the attack on these 2 units. Some of them are breaking slightly. Morale is low. I've lost that 1 cav unit, unfortunately, but he'll come back into the fray. I mean, 77 individuals is still a big unit here. In the meantime, though, keeping up that front line as I am, it's just so many enemy infantry, unfortunately. Just so many of them. But we're going to do a good job of keeping them pinned down. That's what we want to be doing. Using those hammer and anvil tactics with the cav coming in now against the enemy units here in the back line. Just trying to take out these units as soon as possible to free up the cavalry for some really, really heavy charges into the back of the enemy lines here. That's what I'm trying to do, essentially, at the moment. All right, we're going to try and fast forward here a little bit more to get more of the action. All right, so at this point in the battle, the enemy actually decided to take out some units out into this side of the battlefield. So I'm moving my cav back to be able to just get a distance between us and the infantry and the cav that's charging us. Heavy cavalry, so we can do a bit of both side charging. So this unit just charged from this side. General's going to charge from this side as well. Just catch them off guard. And hopefully with some morale penalties having been flanked, unit losing decisively as well, they'll start retreating very quickly. Trying to take this one lone unit out as well with my cav units, having some trouble there. And the backline infantry is having a bit of trouble as well, unfortunately. Those spear units are dwindling in numbers, which is not ideal. So I'm basically just trying to maneuver around here, trying to maneuver, hammer and anvil a bit, try and take out these units that are doing a decent job of shutting out my cavalry, which is not ideal, not in the least. In the meantime, I've moved back my missile units because they've run out of ammunition. Don't commit them into a battle melee mode, guys, because they're just not that effective. If they run out of ammo, move them back. It's not worth it. They've got a lot of kind of heavy morale penalties for some of these units as well, though, in the front line, the back there as well. They've lost this cav unit that charged us. We're going to be using our cavs to take out this spear unit now as well, and clean up the rest of these guys that have sallied forth to try and challenge our cavalry superiority outside the town here. So that's what's happening there. These guys are going to retreat hopefully very soon as well. Let's just fast forward a little bit. All right, so there you have it. We've got this one unit retreating now as well. General is engaging a spearman unit, so I'm going to move him back a bit. These guys having a bit of trouble with these two spear units as well. One of them a cavalry unit, so hopefully we can take these guys out as well. More and more the front line is dwindling a little bit as well. Heavy infantry superiority. I mean, you can see that clearly. The tough battle on the front line there. But we're doing a decent job of at least trying to cover out these units out in this side of the battlefield. Tough battle. Very tough battle. Big enemy superiority in numbers, unfortunately. But we're doing some good, decent job at holding the line at the front here. Retreating units, and taking out the units that have sallied forth, which is really good. Let's see this action happen. So that one spear unit's now retreating as well. Enemy cav unit, the light unit, is going to start retreating soon as well. We've managed to finally take out this one lone unit that was holding up two of our own. So these guys are going to move forward and flank around these guys as well, which is really good. And hopefully, now that the cav should be freed up. Yes, there we go. We're going to use them to go into the back of the enemy here as well, start clearing them up. And that's going to be the decisive move here to finish off the enemy once and for all. Lots of retreating units on this side as well. Very good stuff. Get a closer look at the cav charge here in the back line. These guys have no idea what's coming. They're just running around, throwing slings. And here they come. Breaking and pillaging on the way. Run, you fools. Nice little charge there. The general was exposed as well in the back line. So just clearing up those units outside gave us the opportunity we needed to come in through this gate into the town and clear up the rest of the enemy units in the back line. They still have a massive contingent out front. Some of them retreating, some of them holding fast. So we need to get in there, take out the rest of these units here in our way, and put an end to the battle here. Fast forward slightly to see what happens. Last spear unit in the back has retreated. More and more missile units now need to be retreating. Obviously, my cav numbers have dwindled, so trying to keep them alive. So we've got infantry units flanking around now on this side as well. As you can see, good stuff. More and more of their missile units have retreated as well. We just need to use these guys, free them up to attack the main force, the remaining infantry up on the front line here. If we can even take out this infantry unit, the Takastos, who are pretty wounded actually, casualties sustained, we'll move these guys up as well and support the front line, because these guys are barely holding out at the moment. All right, so let's just fast forward slightly as well here. got retreating units, unfortunately. But hopefully a final charge into the back line will finish this battle off for us. We've got a couple units here retreating, as you can see. Their numbers just dwindled a little bit too much. And they started routing, but no worries. The general is cleaning up. And who knows, maybe these guys will come back into the fray. All good, all good. Another unit retreated there. One more missile unit, and we can start charging into this blob of infantry. Head on. All right, slight fast forwarding again. Gotta move units forward. Catch them off guard in the back. That's that unit now retreating, as you can see. Means these guys are gonna start moving forward. This one retreated as well. General getting into the main fight here now. Some tense moves going on. Nice little charge, a final charge for the general. Show the Massalian might against these savages. Units now retreating in fear. Shock at the general's charge. Big morale penalties all around. Ligurians losing their homeland to Massalian might here. Only a few units remaining now. Loads of heavy fighting. Look at the detail on those shields. Oh, DEI. And the final units are retreating. And there we have it, guys. I think it was a close victory. There we have it. Yep. And, I mean, I think considering the circumstances, it was pretty well done. 13-4-4 lost against 4,400 men of theirs, which is pretty ridiculous. But a very, very good win nonetheless. Very nice job holding that front line with those medium hoplites. And good cavalry charges from the back, especially the general there. 545 kills. Excellent work. And that's going to be it, guys. Let's move on to the end of the video here on the campaign map. All right, guys. So with that, Genua is in Massalian possession, which is really, really, really good. What you've done here in this campaign so far is basically secure your home province and get a foothold into another province, which is always a really good start in your first 10 turns. So by taking Genua, by allying the Helvetii a little bit, and they've made some good progress against the Insubres here, you've essentially got a nice, very nice foothold into expansion here into northern Italy. Obviously, Rome are down here. They're going to take out Etruria probably and possibly knock on your door. They are an ally at the moment, but something just to be wary of, I think, in your campaign as Massalia. So you can absolutely continue to expand in this area. By taking Medlan and Octuderon, you have a nice jumping off area into Bibracte and Nemesis as well. Massalia is always going to be a defendable city, so you don't have to worry about garrisoning any armies there. But you've also got a nice army here in Sessatani lands, which can move down and take Toracco as well. Absolutely doable. You can do that as well. And that's pretty much the end of the video here, guys. It's just to show you how in the first 10 turns of our campaign here with Massalia, what you could be doing. And this is kind of how I would do it. I would expand east a little bit, take your home province, and get a nice kind of flanking area here to be able to surround northern Gallic lands here. But you can do whatever you want. You can go into Iberian lands. Very, very easy to do. You'll get neck to neck with Carthage eventually over here as well. Obviously, by being over here, you're neck to neck with Rome eventually. So just really, really interesting starts to the campaign that you can explore, expand and do what you want with. And that's going to be the end of the video here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. Do you agree with how I've expanded out here as Massalia? Would you do it another way maybe? Let me know what you think and how you would go about doing it. And subscribe to the channel, guys, if you'd like to see more videos like this, more first 10 turn videos, not just with DEI, but other mods and other games as well in Total War. and generally for Total War content. I'm a big Total War YouTuber that I love. I love making videos about Total War games. It's my #1 topic. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.